Let's do this.
Hi, my name's Daniel.
Hello, my name is Anne.
Hey there, it's Nav.
Hey, my name's Cole.
And we are Danacove Consulting.
For our management team project, we have decided to focus our efforts on consulting the first-year programs here at the University of Washington. FYP is a UW organization part of the undergraduate academic affairs. Every UW student has once encountered with FYP, whether it was through orientation advising, commuter and transfer commons, dog days, first-year interest groups, or even the parent orientation. FYP does it all. In this video, we will first address the problem that FYP faces. We will complete research to gain insight on the organization and the issue. We will compose a question, plan our study, collect and analyze our data, and finally, we will come up with a recommendation for FYP. We initially started out by noticing the issues happening in our own backyard. We realized from talking to our friends in the FYP office that there have been issues regarding their employment as orientation leaders and student coordinators.
We began our research by having a casual conversation with some of the FYP orientation leaders and student coordinators. While speaking with the employees, we noticed how motivation or the lack thereof tied into their employment experience during orientation season. We learned that during the 3-month span of summer orientations, motivation usually dips mid-August and then picks up again towards the end of their employment term. After discovering this issue in FYP, we needed to understand the orientation leaders and student coordinators' in-role performance, or the mandatory act of performing prescribed roles and tasks in a reliable manner. We listed out the job responsibilities of both employment opportunities within FYP and found a few commonalities.
In order to clearly understand the problem, we need to review a few OB concepts related to motivation. First off, what is motivation? Motivation is a set of energetic forces that dictate the intensity, direction, and persistence of work-related efforts. There are also 2 types of motivation in the workforce: intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic motivation is defined as motivation that comes from the outside of the person, such as pay, bonuses, and other tangible rewards. And intrinsic motivation is when a person has an internal desire to do something. Examples like interest, challenge, passion, and meaningfulness. With our efforts focused on intrinsic motivation, we took note of the different factors within intrinsic motivation. From our interviews, we concluded that FYP employees are mainly motivated intrinsically because of their sense of meaningfulness and sense of impact. Also, we noted that most of them had a great or not so great experience at their orientation or advising session, which motivated them to pursue the job in the first place, which helped us pose our research question.
How can we maintain the orientation leaders and student coordinators' motivation throughout their entire period of employment? As we started constructing our research plan, we took into consideration the motivation issues we wanted to tackle to gain a deeper understanding of why their motivation declined over the course of the summer. We decided to collect qualitative and quantitative data by conducting interviews and taking a survey. By conducting the interviews, we were able to listen to the employees' experiences working with FYP to find key topics in which they all had a commonality. We then chose to conduct surveys to see if we could accumulate quantifiable data to confirm the issues discovered in the interviews.
We collected data through interviews to gather in-depth, first-hand knowledge. This ensured that we were able to identify the problems that the interviewees experienced and their view on what was missing. Here are some of the interview responses from employees about their perceptions of FYP.
And so something that we try to do as an entire team was to keep each other accountable and remembering that each group of students that are coming in, this is their first experience with UW, and wanting to bring the best that we can every single time.
Was throughout the summer, every 2 weeks or so, we got the feedback that the comments that we received from students who had us as orientation leaders. And we were all scared when we first got our first ones because we thought maybe they were just saying awful things about us. But they were all just so supportive and just saying that it made their experience to have so-and-so as an OL. So I think that was so great about being able to be a part of the team, and it really helped us to maintain and hold those values to our heart.
For the surveys, we chose to use an established scale from a study called Job Cognitions by Williams and Andersons that measures the intrinsic and extrinsic job motivations of employees. We were looking to confirm whether FYP employees were motivated primarily by intrinsic factors, extrinsic factors, or a mix of both. From our survey data, we found that 5 out of 7 survey respondents have a higher average intrinsic score than compared to their extrinsic scores. This data aligns with our predictions based on the interviews that FYP employees are primarily motivated by intrinsic factors. In order to solve for the lack of motivation that FYP employees face, we recommend that the first-year programs implement a structured feedback loop by supervisors and team members on a consistent basis to increase long-term employee motivation through intrinsic motivation. According to the job characteristics theory, core dimensions such as skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback all lead to increased levels of intrinsic motivation. We found that all core job dimensions were present except for the effective feedback. One way FYP can implement this strategy is by training supervisors to begin giving structured feedback to their student employees. When assessing performance, supervisors should focus on being sincere for positive feedback, and when giving negative feedback, they must be clear and honest. Also, the supervisors should emphasize behavior that the student employees can change and avoid trying to alter the employees' traits. The manager should also make sure to be specific rather than be giving vague feedback. We decided that a short demonstration of the correct and incorrect ways to give and receive effective feedback would provide the first-year programs a clear illustration of how to implement our recommendation.
So Daniel, I think you've done a great job this week just coordinating the events, and I think your ability to keep everyone on track and on schedule has actually really exceeded my expectations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring to your attention one thing, however, that I believe would make the team a little bit more productive. I think when you give instructions, sometimes they're kind of unclear, and I think that can lead to a lot of confusion and therefore sometimes a lack of productivity.
Okay, I'll definitely have to take this opportunity to learn and grow from your recommendations.
So Daniel, I just don't think your performance over the last quarter has been good. Gotten a lot of complaints. Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Can you kind of elaborate?
Well, how can I put this, Daniel? Let's just say that you're not good, okay? Your shirt's weird. You smell weird. And I don't like the way you chew with your mouth open.
I think you're a horrible boss. All you do is sit around all day in your office doing nothing, watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, you don't get anything done.
First off, don't you ever disrespect the Kardashians, sir.
Hey,
Get out of my office. What's wrong with these employees, man?
It's nearing time.
Overall, we are really glad that we focused our efforts towards first-year programs, because we knew from the start that we wanted to create a bigger impact on our community. We hope that our recommendation could possibly be implemented in real life to ensure that any incoming Huskies coming into UW will be guided by eager and motivated orientation leaders and student coordinators. Thank you for watching our video. Until next time, we are
Danacove Consulting.